Hi, this is Ann McNeil, the Master Builder, helping you to build a stronger and better life and business, keeping my commitment to the commitment. And my commitment is daily during this time of crisis, which some call a crisis. I decide to call it an opportunity for growth. My desire is to encourage, inspire, and to uplift you with my McNeil Factor insights from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. My insights are coming directly from this book, regardless of what version you have. Since 1979, I have been living in the principles and the philosophy of this book. I started this challenge when the crisis started, and I started on chapter 1. Chapter 1 shares what is your desire. Now, I'm talking to you, and this may be for you and it may not be. But if it is, what is your desire? That's the first chapter in this book. Your desire may relate to how much money you want, by when, doing what, and what is your affirmation statement. Then the author went on to chapter 2, which is the second principle, where he talked about your applied faith toward your desire. What is it that you're willing to do in order to achieve your desire? Of course, it must be legal, ethical, and moral. That goes without saying. But then what is your affirmation statement? That's the third principle. What is your self-talk? What are you saying to yourself about your desire and your actions? That's your affirmation statement. Some people call it autosuggestion. Then the author moves on and shares and asks the question about your specialized knowledge. Is your knowledge general or is it specialized? Once you can figure that out, then the next principle is your imagination, your creative or synthetic imagination. How do you use it on a daily basis to achieve your desire? Well, that imagination is very important to your organized plans. And that's the chapter we're on now, the principle of organized planning. And the author shares with us, you must have organized plans in order to achieve your desired end, your definite chief aim or goal or purpose. But in order for your plans to be sound, you must have a mastermind group of accountability. And that's where you come in with an accountability partner. And if you don't have a partner, you can reach out to me. We can hook you up as a part of the International Mastermind Association. But my desire, again, is to encourage you to do you. I want to thank you for agreeing to just listen in with us today as we read from the book. And also, I'll share my editorial comments, if you will, my Ann McNeil Factor insights from the book. Right now, we're on page 120 and 21. And to begin the reading, I really want to encourage you to you think about planning. Consider planning in every single area of your life. You see, as a part of how we mastermind, I call it my McNeil Factor Insights, my McNeil Factor Mastermind System. As a part of the International Mastermind Association, we mastermind in 10 different areas of our lives when it comes to planning. These are your plans. We're talking about how do you take your plans and really implement them for not just success, but great success. Well, I encourage you to consider, as a part of our McNeil Factor Mastermind, 10 areas of your life and your business. First is your spiritual plans, your goals. Second would be your family. Third would be financial goals and plans. Number 4 would be your education. How do you continue to become an expert in your craft, in your space, in your industry, from additional learning and knowledge, niche to be rich? But number 5 would be your business and or your career, your profession. But number 6 would be your personal development. What plans do you have in the area of creating a personal development plan or program? And then number 7 would be of course, your health goals. Do you have health goals? Number 8, your civic, your recreation. Number 9, and number 10, your creative goals. Those are the 10 areas by which we create plans. Every single area of your life. You see, there was a time for me when I started in 1979, I thought it was all about the money, only planning about the money. Well, as I began to learn how to make the money, and then I began to learn how to make the money grow, I began to realize that none of it meant as much as having a relationship in a lot of different areas of my life, such as the ones I've just mentioned. But what about you? Are you aspiring to have better quality in every area of your life and your business? Well, this is an excellent way to do that with plans. You really want to consider planning every area of your life. So now we get to the reading. The author tells us that there's a new way of marketing your services. And though as a part of the marketing of your services, I started reading from a different book, which is this book by The Wisdom of Andrew Carnegie as Told to Napoleon Hill, where Carnegie is being interviewed by Mr. Hill, and Hill is asking him about how and why this philosophy became so important to share with the world. Because we're talking about plans. And Carnegie asked Hill if he would be willing to take 20 years of his life to develop the plans, to develop the philosophy, to develop the principles. They were always there, but they needed to be organized in a manner in which people could easily understand and to be able to read. So I'll go ahead and just read a little from that conversation, and then we'll go into the book and talk about the marketing of your services as you serve. Carnegie says, to begin with, let me state that there are 17 major principles of success, and every person who attains the objective of his major goal in any undertaking must use some combination of these principles. We shall name the first, the most important principle of these. It stands at the head of the list of the 17 principles of achievement. Now, he's talking about the achievement of your goals, your personal achievement, your personal growth and development. In the book Think and Grow Rich, there are 13 principles of success for this philosophy. These principles, the 13 and the 17, are intertwined with each other. All right. So I just want to just make sure that we're very clear. And this is from Carnegie's voice. All right. And Carnegie says that it stands at the head of the list of the 17 principles of achievement because no one has ever been known to succeed without applying it. You may call this principle definiteness of purpose. Definiteness of purpose. One more time. Definiteness of purpose. In order for you to develop plans, what is the purpose of your plans that you're developing? What's the purpose of your partnership and your strategic relationships that you're creating? What is the end goal? What is it that you desire? So Carnegie is saying in his own voice to Mr. Hill, definiteness of purpose is at the beginning, is at the head of the list. Study any person who is known to be a permanent success. This is not an overnight success. It is not a temporary success. Carnegie is saying, study the people who, and you think about people that you know that have permanent success. They build a legacy that lives long after they're gone. And you will find that he or she has a definite major goal. He has a plan for the attainment of that goal. He devotes the major portion of his thoughts and his efforts to the attainment of this purpose. My own major purpose, and this is Carnegie talking about his major purpose, is that of making and marketing steel. I conceived the purpose while working as a laborer. It became an obsession with me. I took it to bed with me at night, and I took it to work with me in the morning. My definite purpose became more than a mere wish. It became my burning desire. That is the only sort of definite purpose which seems to bring desired results. So I'll stop there, but I wanted to just make sure that we hear from the words of Carnegie himself as we're talking about the philosophy that he was behind in creating with Napoleon Hill. Now we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the new way of marketing your services. The author says men and women who market their services to the best advantage in the future must recognize the stupendous change which has taken place in connection with the relationship between employer and employee. And when you think about the fact that this was written in the 30s, and today that has not changed. That thought, that principle has not changed. In the future, the golden rule, and not the rule of gold, will be the dominating factor in the marketing of merchandise as well as personal services. The future relationship between employer and employees will be more in the nature of a partnership consisting of the employer, the employee, and the public they serve. And when you think about even the crisis that we're going through, the second crisis now, which is a racial crisis, these three are so tied to each other because now we're seeing employer, employee, and the public having a voice in how the profits will be made and distributed based upon the mission, the vision, and the activities of the public and privately held corporations. The new way, the author says, of marketing personal services is called new for many reasons. First, both the employer and employee of the future will be considered as fellow employees whose business it will be to serve the public efficiently. In times past, employers and employees have bartered among themselves during the best bargains they could with one another, not considering that in the final analysis, they were in reality bargaining at the expense of the third party, which was the public they served. The Depression served as a mighty protest from an injured public whose rights had been trampled upon in every direction by those who were clamoring for individual advantages and profits. And we're seeing that again today. Yes, even in this century, we're still seeing the exact same thing. When the debris of the Depression shall have been cleared away and business shall have been once again restored to balance, both employers and employees will recognize that they are no longer privileged to drive bargains at the expense of those whom they serve. The real employer of the future will be the public. This should be kept uppermost in the mind of every person seeking to market personal services. And I'm going to go ahead and stop there because my goal is to help you realize and visualize your goals, your vision, your mission. And how do you use these principles? That's my desire. Helping you understand how do you use these principles to achieve your desired goal. They start with your plans. They start with your plans. And as I continue to do my own work internally and share my insights, my perspectives, and my thoughts on this content, I am realizing that for you to do the same, you must do the work. For me to do the same, I must do the work. And I am doing the work by sharing with you today. So I want to continue to thank you for allowing me to encourage, to inspire, and to uplift. And again, this information may be for you, it may not be, but in case this information is for you and you are interested in having greater clarity in every area of your life, not just about the money, but in every area of your life, if you desire, but you must be and must have a success consciousness. And if you do, I might be talking to you. And if you don't, I might not be talking to you. But again, my desire is to encourage, to inspire, and to uplift. with my Anne's Wonderful Words of Wisdom and my McNeil Factor Insights from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So I want to continue to just thank you for thinking and growing richer with me. And as always, I will see you tomorrow.